children. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Hello there, my name is Damilola Ogunsi, also known as the Goldfish.
Hi, my name is Chike Bright Emmanuel. I'm an actor and a filmmaker.
Hello peeps, my name is Yomi E. Adejimo.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Utomi.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacey Benjamin and this is Voice of the People TV.
I need you to keep it locked to VOP TV. See, are you looking for good entertainment? You want to get good movies, good music, politics, talk shows, sports and entertainment. You really want a channel that gives you everything you need without you having to run around. VOP is where you are. That's Voice of the People.
If you're not listening to this, you're not one of us. And you deserve to be killed. Scrap chat. Don't be killed, but watch it. Or I'll find you. And I want you.
And you are locked on VOP TV. Don't go nowhere. This is where the juice is. This is where all you need for entertainment, politics, movies, and whatnot.
And keep watching VOP TV.
So keep it locked because I'm locked already, man, and it's money back guarantee. So you're gonna have a good time because I do.
And please keep watching VOP TV.
I won't want you actually. I beg you, subscribe, watch it. If not, whatever you see.
You better not touch that dial because VOP is the plot.
News on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing
became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV. Youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space. Exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly.
Voice of the people, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikena Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka, Amayanabo the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
2564 is coming up on Burning 9, right? 2564 Atlantic.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Bamakore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, it's about that shaking the man fine back with Malami Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know why you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weights.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers wherever live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Jenny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
In a world where power shapes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Mr. Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264.
It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Good morning and welcome to the midweek edition of VOP This Morning on Voice of the People Television. I am Chukuma Okoro. On the show today, we have lined up very interesting stories to guide you through today and to let you understand and know what is going on around the country. Number one, U.S. citizen rebuilding Yellowwater homes warns federal government against renewed attacks amid reports of armed headers establishing camps in Benue State. Now, that's very serious. As DSS arraigns Malami, son on terrorism financing, firearms possession. Plus, President Tinubu orders states to pay electricity subsidy. Now, these are the major topics of discussion, and you can see with me that they are very interesting topics. Some of them will make you happy. Some of them will also give you hope. Good morning once again, and thanks for joining us.
Yes, of course. Good morning. Welcome to the program. We'll be delving into those conversations, and there are others also that we will touch on this morning. We'll be going to River State, of course. I'm Moses Humphrey. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I'm Jane Ogoye. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, now let's dive into it very quickly. River State. Now, the Rivers and Lagos State, Rivers and Lagos State lead in the consumption of alcoholic drinks sold in sachets and polyethylene bottles among minors and underage persons, according to a nationwide survey conducted by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. Now, the study conducted in collaboration with the Distillers and Blenders Association of Nigeria examined access to alcohol and drinking frequency among minors below 13 years, that's underage, 13, 17 years, and adults 18 years and above. Presenting the findings of the survey on Tuesday, NAFDAC Director General, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, said the availability and easy access to alcohol have been identified as a contributory factor to the increasing alcohol consumption among minors. Now, the report urged stricter regulations, noting that access to alcohol by children can be limited if pack sizes that can be easily concealed are not available. Oh well, this conversation has been ongoing for some time now. NAFDAC clamping down on producers of, these alcoholic beverages in sachets and PET bottles. Now, NAFDAC is not saying producers should not make these things, but not in those little bottles. Now, I'm going to be biased in my analysis of this, and I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to be objective.
Everyone has a bias, no matter how objective you try to be.
I will try as much as I can to be objective on this issue. I understand that people will lose jobs, all right, and small businesses are the live wire of an economy. I understand all of that, but these things they are cheap. They are cheap. Very cheap.
Low end.
Easily available. In fact, I saw an individual, this guy is mentally unstable. He's mentally unstable. Always asks for, a little handout each time he sees me. And then one day I was walking down my area and I saw him and he greeted me as usual and said, "Bros, anything?" I said, nothing. So he left. And then when he went to sit somewhere, he brought out a bag. He brought it out and poured the contents, and it was sachet alcohol. A lot of it. He just poured it, took one, tore it, and squeezed it, and then started adjusting his clothing. And I said to myself, the monies people give him, that's probably what he spends it on.
Yes.
Because there probably was an addiction before he even got himself into that position of being mentally unstable. He probably had an addiction to these things. And so and that's just one person, though he's an adult, but then you have children having access to these things. Now, the fact that these things are cheap, we also know that they are the contents cannot be, you cannot ascertain the quality of what was used in making these things, which makes them harmful to health. A lot of people consume these things and it affects their internal organs, the liver, the kidney. These things become affected. All right, because they have access to alcohol, things that can easily make them get high. So we have a problem on our hands, and we're trying to solve this problem of access to gateway drugs, alcohol, and the rest of them. And I think putting a ban on this, in fact, stopping the production of this, would be a good way to start. in curbing access to that aspect of, alcoholic drinks. It's a start. It's a start as far as I am concerned. It's a start. And, when it becomes expensive and a lot more difficult to afford, then people will move away and maybe move to something else. Water, which is easily available.
Water is not even available now.
Water
is not cheap. The sachet, what we call sachet water.
Sachet water, pure water. What we call pure water.
What we call pure water.
Yes.
It's 300.
300 for?
No, 100.
For
no,
one sachet?
3 for 100.
Okay.
No, 3 for 100 naira.
And it used to be what? It used to be 5 naira.
It used to be, no, before it got to 5 naira, it was below 5 naira.
It was below 5 naira. So even water is expensive.
Water is expensive now. Water is expensive. And in some facilities, especially where we are now, you know how much a bottle
I know. Oh, yes, I know.
Table water is, and all of that. So water is not affordable. Now, affordable. Now, that said, this debate has been ongoing for a while, and Professor Deyeye is not willing to back off. She's not willing to back off. And I understand, her position in all of this. If the thing tells on society, because a lot of young men now gravitate towards that because it's low end, it's easily affordable, and she's not going to back off. I like her tenacity in fighting this. And when we talk about some jobs have to go, unfortunately, for society to move on, something has to give. And if this is what it's going to give, I've always maintained that, look, the first place to start, in fighting this thing is from the motor parks, because the only is consequential. When the driver consumes all of these things and gets into the steering, he gets into road rage. He's carrying families, lives of people. If you have like 10 people in the vehicle and you have like 5 people dependent on each of those 10 people, you're talking about carrying 50 people at a time. And if anything happens, it becomes very, very disastrous. So it's consequential when you sell these things in motor parks and all of that. But the angle I want to touch is that the fact that from the research they conducted, Lagos and Port Harcourt, these are the money cities. So it's understandable why. I'm sure that if they get into further research, they might even find that Kano probably will be high in consuming this, because these are cities where you have money. And because the market is there too, the producers tend to channel these products to those markets. So, but in all of this, let us be very, very emphatic. This thing is destroying society, so we need it. People can, like we said, I've always said, if you stop this sachet thing and go the big way, like where you have to buy like 7,000 or 8,000 a bottle of it, the low-end market will naturally die off. And when that market dies off, the people that used to patronize them will also die off, and society becomes better for everybody. That's my position on that.
I agree with you, but I think
by die off, I'm sure you means they will, fizzle out, not actually die.
No, but some people will die too because, wait now. Some people will die because naturally, it affects internal organs and all of that. Okay. But the die off, it's fizzle out. Yes. I understand the idea.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, so you guys, I think we're also failing to also realize that, still talking consequences, we're also not looking at the fact that once you keep talking about bus stops being like the hub, motor parks, sorry, but I keep also saying that beyond these bus stops, you have petty stores where these people actually sell to children.
Yes.
So while we talk about accountability, from the motor parks, let's also hold each other accountable. Imagine I'm going to a petty shop to go and buy pure water, for instance, and I see a young child come, to buy one of these pet drinks or the sachet, and I look away. We already have a public health bomb ticking in Nigeria. And if we can't hold each other accountable, and these petty traders, once they know that they can sell these things without any form of consequences, it will go on. We've had enforcements like this being, talked about, try to be implemented for years. But people still go off the hook because there's no consequence. Nigeria is a country of no consequence. So yes, it's good enough that they are trying to ban these PET bottles, but people will still falter. So how do we still hold them accountable?
Tell you that, it's one uncle that sends me.
And I wanted to say that.
Okay. So really, it's a parental flaw, or is it
no,
a
even
family
when the
flaw?
uncle didn't send it.
Yes.
So it's complicated. So are we also saying that because of this complication, it almost can't be tackled?
One way of tackling it is to stop the production of it.
Okay.
That is one way of tackling it. And I think that's what the Director General of NAFDAC is doing, Mojisola Adeyeye. I think that's what she's doing, to stop the production entirely. If that is stopped, then we can now start to work on the morality, the moral aspect,
yes.
where people will say, okay, even if I have something, an alcoholic beverage to be sold, if a child comes, I will refuse to sell to you, even if you say it's an uncle that sent you.
Yeah.
I will still refuse until I see the uncle himself. Now that will now depend on individual, moral compass.
Exactly. So it's actually very complicated, and I think in Nigeria, one of the things we need to get right is consequences.
Yes.
Because these things just fizzle out, and people just feel like they can do anything. Anyway, Nigeria is a country of anything goes.
Yes, anything goes.
Anything
It's
goes
unfortunate.
country.
We live in a country where, because we don't punish small crimes, the big ones strive.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move away from that story and get into another very interesting story. The senator representing Edo North in the National Assembly, former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, former NLC president, has come under intense public criticism following a viral video of him giving a foot massage to a lady inside a private jet. Well, while many asserted that the lady is Oshiomhole's wife, Lara, others claim that she is a South African explicit content creator who calls herself a professional sugar baby. While reacting to the video, many Nigerians, including former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, questioned the former governor's conduct amid the country's prevailing economic hardship. Well, Oshiomhole was also accused of being disconnected from the realities faced by ordinary Nigerians, with other netizens saying that public officials no longer attempt to hide displays of wealth. Yes, who Oshiomhole?
He's still married to the
He's still married to the
Canadian lady.
No, I think they had problems.
I think they had problems at some point.
Problems at some point, but I don't know whether they divorced or separated and all of that. But I mean, it's his personal life. So when people say that in the midst of hardship, but I think probably why they are questioning in the midst of hardship is that, but let's even talk about it. When a senator gets into office, and he was probably a wealthy man before he got into office, is he not entitled to some kind of private life? Doesn't necessarily mean that any money he made and then is attributed necessarily to the government or having made money in government. I think this thing is his private life. He didn't do it in public, in a private jet, but I don't even know how this escaped, and how we are discussing all of this. If you ask me, is his private life. If you were, in an open air doing all of this, people could complain and say, well, this is not right. This is a public space and all of that. But he's in a private jet and they are doing their thing, whether it is Lara, his wife, or whether it is somebody from South Africa or what. It's entirely his personal
I agree, it's his personal life. But why Nigerians are triggered is because times are hard. And it almost seems as if our leaders, the government is blind to the...
That was what I got from the angle of, if somebody was doing well and got into politics, let's create a what-if scenario. What if Dangote gets into government now, he becomes a senator? Is he going to abandon all his wealth he made before because Nigerians are suffering?
It's not an issue. For me, I don't think it's an issue of abandoning your wealth or trying to tone down your wealth. But it's just trying to be sensitive to...
Sensitive to what inside a private jet?
No. Sensitive to the feelings of Nigerians.
How Nigerians feel? How?
Because Nigerians are triggered. Things are hard.
Why are they triggered? Is it Oshiomhole that caused the hardship?
He's not the...
Shouldn't he live his life?
He should live his life. But I know that Oshiomhole definitely didn't have her film all of that and put it online. But some of these girls, and she's also an escort. And so, the higher the profile of the person, your clients, the higher you go. You know what I mean? So, the next person she would be with would definitely be higher. So it's still part of marketing. But away from that, I just feel that Nigerians are just triggered because it's sensitive.
That is my question. Why are Nigerians triggered?
We are triggered because times are hard.
Times are hard. Is it Oshiomhole that caused the hardship?
Oh, yes, but he's a 7th senator, so we can't take that out.
But he's been very vociferous in the Senate. He's been said, well, this is what we need to do and all of that. He has leaked so many things.
So I also feel that once you put your private life out there, you are subject to public scrutiny.
Especially being a senator. That's why I asked that's exactly my... We are going back to the question I asked before. If somebody made money before he got into politics, should he dump all of that?
Okay, so are you also saying, let me also put you on the spot, are you also saying that a man who is wealthy or who is in power, a government official, it's okay for him to live large. I mean, that's his private whatever. But is it also okay to brandish it?
No, I have a problem with the brandishing. So that's I asked the question: how did this thing leak?
It leaked from the lady, obviously, because it's
so
on her page.
so it is wrong. So you should know the kind of people you nest with. Apparently, that's my position.
So I don't.
I think the question, the question on my mind is he still married to Lara Fox? That's her name, right?
I don't think, yes, the Cape Verdean lady.
Yes.
I don't think he's still
as of 2025, they were still married.
Okay.
They were still seen together.
But we know, netizens
2025.
also say it is Lara.
But she looks so much like his,
looks like Lara.
His
but
real wife.
Is it Lara or
Ira?
Ira. Okay.
Ira.
Yeah, confusing. But anyway, it just shows that the man is romantic.
Okay, I like the angle.
Any man can
and
be.
He's living his life.
This will further, confront the narrative that Nigerian men are not romantic. So we have
now romantic
are not. That's the narrative.
Okay.
The Nigerian men are not romantic.
So this story will debunk it.
Of course.
Okay.
Nigerian men are. We can see that Nigerian men, regardless of age, are romantic. They can give foot rubs and the rest of them. Nigeria has problems that we're dealing with. Let the presidency, let the president, make laws that would reduce the issues, the problems that Nigerians are going through. And
so that Nigerians will not have time to be debating over things like this, right?
Yeah.
But I always say that these things are just diversionary tactics.
Who is that?
I don't know. I just feel that, trust Nigerian youths. In the next 1 week, this thing will trend.
Even if this thing didn't trend, Nigerian youths won't get into politics.
It's not about getting into politics. It's about being concerned or, what's the word?
Nigerian
being
youths
very
are, I'm happy that you brought up this angle, but we're out of time. Nigerian youths are not concerned in politics.
They are not.
They are not.
What are they concerned about?
They are concerned about
gossip.
About gossip and all of those things.
And
Go to social media and see what's
I think
going
I
on.
agree with you, and that's why the government is having a field day.
A field day.
That's
I
why they're
totally
having a
agree
field
with
day.
you, because if you interact with the average South African youth, you can see how radicalized and they're very nationalist in their thinking.
disposition,
They are
yes.
very passionate
A
about their country.
35-year-old Nigerian is more concerned about watching shows on TV and going to parties and trending on blogs. In fact, it's even worse now because all they're concerned about is dancing on social media and getting views and likes.
Exactly.
Now, back in the day, a 33-year-old or a 35-year-old were governing the nation. Back in the day, we had people within that age range in government already in Nigeria. Those we have in government today, some would say they are stooges of, the old politicians and all they care about is also making money. But we need a total restructuring of our mindset. It's a mindset thing.
It's a mindset
We've sold, social media has been sold to us in, the monetization of social media has been sold to Nigerians and they have grabbed it. And then you go on social media, you see all sorts of things. And all people care about is how much I stand to make. If you're telling me not to do these things, are you going to feed me?
No, apart from the people that put up those things, the people that put up those things are not the ones that generate those views. Now, you see an adult female, probably between 40, 45, 50, comes on screen, undresses, turns around, and puts it up. Yeah. And you know what you see? You see 200,000 views and like so. And I said, what are people liking in all of this?
But we know that lewd content sells, sex sells. And I think one of the worst things that ever happened to Nigeria is Facebook monetizing Nigeria because it's madness. I don't even go on Facebook.
Total madness.
Sometimes I open Facebook and I'm like, what's in this? And I just close it. And these are the reasons, like we always say, that corruption and our government will continue to have a field day because Nigerian youth, President Buhari of blessed memory said they are jobless.
They are lazy.
They are lazy and jobless.
Lazy Nigerians. Let's quickly run to the papers now. From Nigerian Tribune, these are the headlines here. Guessing game continues as Senate fails to pass Electoral Act at third promise. Senate proposes new revenue formula to favor FG. And Naira gains against dollar Naira gains against dollar closes at 1,372 Naira 91 kobo. Terrorism financing. Federal government arraigns Malami son on 5-count charge. PDP crisis. Makinde fires another shot. We won't allow anyone to hold PDP down, he declares. Abdul Rahman-led camp fixes March 29-30 as new convention dates. Party's management staff, workers, institute declare loyalty to Raki-led NWC. UBA Group announces Loknath Mishra as CEO, UBA UK. And on health, 4 in 10 cancer cases preventable, WHO. 54% of Nigerian minors buy alcohol themselves, NAFTAC. Well, these are the headlines on Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, now let's quickly run through the Punch newspaper. On top of the masthead, bandits killed 30 in fresh Kwara, Katsina attacks. And beside the masthead, genocide accusations, U.S. Congress panels hold new session on Nigeria today. That story is on page 2. Now the big story, electricity subsidy. Federal government to deduct 3.6 trillion naira from Federation account as FG begins sharing of power subsidy burden with states. LGs, 1.2 trillion naira to be deducted yearly. More stories from the Punch newspaper. NPO to Tinubu, regulate foreign platforms or lose Nigerian media. Convention showdown, PDP governors resist weakest bloc move to dismantle committees. And the other one, okay, that's it from the Punch newspaper.
And that's pretty much how far we can go on newspaper headlines. Well, at 10 o'clock, we'll get into reviewing these headlines. In the meantime, U.S. citizen rebuilding Yellowwater homes warns federal government against renewed attacks amid reports of armed headers establishing camps in Benue. Let's talk about this when we come back from this break. Stay with us.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. Awards. the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts its every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not a spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
From the views on the streets,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Ibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikena Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka. I'm about the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And if you are just joining us, this is VOP this morning. Now, let's get into the first major topic of discussion. Security agencies have been placed on high alert following reports that a large number of armed Fulani header bandits have set up camps in the valley between Obaulu, Atapwa in Agatu and Akpete in Akwa local government areas of Benue State. Well, sources reported that personnel of the Nigerian police, civilian JTF and other tactical teams have been proactively deployed to the affected areas to forestall possible attacks on surrounding communities. Authorities said monitoring and surveillance have been intensified to ensure the safety of residents and prevent any disruption to local activities. Meanwhile, in Yellowwater Community, Guma local government area of Benue State, the organizations building Zion and equipping the persecuted have so far reconstructed 35 housing units in the community, which was raised during coordinated overnight attacks on June 13 and 14, 2025. The founder of Building Zion, Alex Barbie, has stated that the Nigerian government must strive to protect the people of Yellowwater after the ongoing rebuilding efforts. Now, I think there's a video of Alex Barbie addressing the issues raised, in rebuilding the homes that were destroyed in Yellowwater. Let's listen to it.
If something happens in Yellowwater after this rebuilding, the government is liable. The blood is on your hands. We've come in good faith, with good heart, to help the people, to rebuild where nobody is helping. But you are responsible to secure your own people. And there's security here now, but we can't see that they leave in 1 month or 2 months. I can't come back and see that Yellowwater has been burned and killed again. If it happens, you are liable. It is your job to protect them. And so I challenge you, I beg you, do your job. Protect your own people. The U.S. government knows what has been done here. They know the attack. They know that I am here. They know that we have rebuilt Yellowwater, and they support me. Congressman Riley Moore, he supports what we're doing. He knows. He has the geographical coordinates of Yellowwater. And we are all monitoring what is happening here. So please, protect your people. Do not let anything happen to Yellowwater again.
Alex Barbie, practically addressing the Nigerian government from Yellowwater, where he was involved in rebuilding of homes that were destroyed last year, during whatever went down in Yellowwater. And he's practically saying, well, the United States government understands and knows what is going on in this community. So you need to protect your people. Otherwise, So, but we've been joined, let's bring in our guests. And we've been joined in the studio here by Barrister Darlington Agommo. Barrister Agommo is a political affairs analyst. Good morning, Agommo, and thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
And beside him, we have Ijoma Mary Chukwu. Ijoma is a specialist in security technology, a security consultant and cyber security expert. Good morning, Ijoma, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
We appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
For coming.
Thank you.
And from our Benin outstation, we've been joined by Comrade Chef Foster Michael. He is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Comrade Michael, and thanks for joining us on VOP this morning.
God bless you for having me.
Good. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate your presence. Let's start from the studio here where we have Barrister Darlington. Barrister, homes that were destroyed in Yellowwater have been rebuilt following the efforts of a young American, Alex Barbie. And he's saying, Nigerian government, you need to protect your people. We understand, America understands what is going on at the moment in parts of Yellowwater. You need to protect your people. But we also been told that, well, the Nigerian security agencies have been placed on high alert because there seems to be some massing, of armed bandits, headers, and all of that. People that purportedly or supposedly caused that harm last year, that they are gathering again. Now, what's your reaction to this? Do you think that Nigerian government has acted proactively enough, to ensure that homes that were destroyed. I mean, we see Americans coming to rebuild homes in Nigeria. And in the same Benue state, we have about 600,000, over 600,000 of them living in IDP camps. And it took the effort of an American to rebuild your water. How much responsibility should the Nigerian government take for what is going on in that area of Benue State?
As far as I'm concerned, the Nigerian states, that is the federal government of Nigeria, they are not doing enough about this insecurity. They are being pampered. And that is why they have the audacity, the temerity to be doing what they are doing and be talking the way they are talking. I don't know why the federal government cannot take a decisive action on these people. You chase them from this end, they run to the other end. You chase them from the other end, they run to the other end. And the federal government is watching and looking. Mr. Okoro, do you know why this thing is very annoying? I know very well that if this type of nonsense were to be happening from another region of this country, you don't need to be told what will happen. You don't need to be told.
No, Barrister, come again. I don't understand.
I said if these people that are doing this over there,
okay,
in this Benue and all, if they are coming from another region of this country,
okay,
you don't need to be told what the federal government will do, because we saw it happen before. And so, why is the federal government pampering these guys? Why? That is the question we should be asking. They don't even call them out. Mr. Okoro, I have never seen when one leader in this country have come to address these people.
Barrister, I'm sorry to butt it, but we understand that it was in the news last week, that 9 of the people arrested in Yelwata are currently undergoing prosecution. You didn't hear about that?
Hold on. You didn't get me. I said, call them out. Arrested is not enough.
Prosecution.
The people that, like these people that we saw now, that the military and whatever on high alert, the states should come out to frontal and say, we have seen what you people are doing. This nonsense must stop. And you call them out. The real people that are behind it, call them out and tell their leaders. Because they have a leader. They are listening to some people. Some people are sponsoring them.
Barrister, we have heard the former chief of defense staff, who is now the minister of defense, say that, look, these people are foreigners, They are not even Nigerians, foreigners. So what call out again do we require?
No.
I understand your position. Let's bring Ijoma into this conversation.
No, foreigner cannot come to your country except you allow it.
Okay, beautiful.
Yes.
Now let's bring Ijoma into this conversation. Ijoma, we understand, that security forces have been placed on high alert. The Nigerian police, security agencies, and all of that. But some of these killings happen earshots within military commands, military posts, and all of that. People are given command, to exit. And when they exit, the killers come in and kill. We even hear that sometimes after the killings, police restrain people from taking photographs, restrain people from talking to journalists and all of that. So in all of this, does it look like, what's your reaction to the fact that, we have security people surround a community, yet Nigerians in those communities are killed? How do you react to that? What does it tell you?
The first thing it tells me is we have a leadership problem. That's number one. We have a leadership whose body language is not saying I'm interested in solving the security problem. It's not saying it's a firm thing for me that I have to deal with security problem decisively. So because the leadership language is weak when it comes to security challenges, security perpetrators continue to do what they need to do. Now, based on the report you just talked about today, we will see an emergence of more community-based security attacks. It's something we're going to be seeing. This is not the first time we've had reports of bandits now organizing themselves across certain communities. There's going to be a rise in it. And what does that tell me? It tells me that we need to have more community-based policing, more community-based security apparatus set up. We need to start building communities that don't allow open access. Because I live in one community, anybody can just come into my community, Nigerians or non-Nigerians. How do you verify people that come into your community? Can we start building walls within our communities? I went to, number one, access. Let's reduce access. I went to my village.
How do you reduce access?
Let me even show you the one that shocked me. I never took note of it. As a young child, I enjoyed going to the village. But as an adult, now that I understand things, I went to the village and in the night I came outside and I saw bush dark. And I was like, hell no, my father cannot be living here. Access, unhindered access, because all you just do is build a house, build another house, and there is just a vast land.
Yeah, because we have a lot of land. So how do you then reduce access to those who don't reside around there?
Yes, build fences.
We should build
Yes,
fences.
before the emergence of city restrictions.
Around houses or around communities?
Around communities. We can start having partnership like Zion Builders can start helping us build.
But do you think that would work? I mean, from a security standpoint.
One.
Look, I just wanted to just hold the thoughts.
Yes.
Yeah. I know from a security standpoint, you're a security expert. They keep saying that Nigerian military has some of the best intelligence in the world. Yet, it seems as though the intelligence doesn't even exist. So from your wealth of knowledge, experience from the security standpoint, what do you think are some of the realistic tech-based intervention that can quell things like this? Because it appears as though maybe tech might be the way out.
Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you. Leadership. So local-based leadership has to do with community where people live. So first thing to do with security is access. That's why we have boundaries within continents, within countries. You cannot just move from one country to another because there needs to be boundary. Now, if that is failing you, what do? You now bring the boundaries to your community. In your home, you have boundaries. I cannot just enter your house. I have to knock through the door. Why should you now enter my community without restriction, without any form of surveillance, without any form of monitoring? No, that has to be built. Secondly, then we have to deploy a system where we are able to get notifications of incidents when they are about to happen. The world system have what is called an air raid solution. When there is an attack in a particular territory or a country, you hear a sound, a blaring sound, you need to take cover. Maybe there's a bomb coming in, you need to take cover in a bomb shelter or go underground, even if there is a whirlwind or a storm. In our community, where the death rate is going, communities are now under attack. It's war. We need a system of alerts within communities.
Okay, I understand that one.
In Nigeria?
It will, it can. Technology can solve it.
I'd like to ask you, Ijoma, before the advent of this carnage, that enveloped us, this insecurity and all of that, we didn't have borders. We didn't have fences around us. We lived as a free people. Even the people that are carrying out the attacks now, in the past 15, 20, 25 years, they used to be our neighbors. They live with us and they just move. We're living freely. So if we start building fences, we're even complaining now that, like growing up, we didn't have fences in my community. I grew up in the village. We didn't have fences. And people who come in the night, travelers who come, stay, and in the morning, they move on with their journey. So how did we get to this point? And how do you think that, building fences around communities, have we become Trump that is trying to build a wall between America and Mexico?
War. Nigeria is a country that is recording death every day. Unforeseen death. You are sleeping in your house and you are attacked. My daddy was sleeping in his house and there was an attack. We had to go pick him up, gunshot. So we are at war as communities. As a country, we are at war. If the leaders will not do it, local people have to do it. Build fences, Soga. You have to build. Communities have to build fences. Access is one thing that we must deal with. When communities are at war, the first thing they do, local war, the first thing you do is build systems in which people can come into your community. Yes.
Let me try and understand you. The communities we talk about are far-flung villages and the rest. A lot of them have farmlands. Are you asking that government, maybe local or the federal government, to build fences around where they reside or build fences around the farmlands, which is part of the communities, or build fences? And then the roads, so if you're driving into a community now, you will drive through a gate into a village.
Let me paint the picture for you. Now, when I talk about access and I talk about community, I'm not just talking about the rural community, I'm talking about the urban communities. For urban communities, now we have the emergence of access control in certain exits or money and all of those stuff. That's urbanized access control. In rural communities, you can now, so let's ask ourselves, how is our rural community living settlement structured? If it's structured in such a way that houses are just scattered, we may want
Which is how it is.
But it needs to be looked into. Do you want us to continue rebuilding homes that are being destroyed, or we want to set up a system that can protect the local people.
Okay, so realistically speaking, because I'm trying to picture this in my mind's eye, what does this look like on a typical day? I mean, in a typical village, when you talk about access. So are you saying that the surroundings of a village has like the Great Wall of China kind of arrangement or something? What does it look like? Because I'm trying to picture it.
So if we watch old movies, you could see the bamboos. I used to farm with my father those days. So around our big farm, we take bamboos, and there's a way we use among themselves that patrol this
Vigilantes without
surroundings.
authorization to carry arms, or vigilantes with authorization to carry arms?
Vigilantes can possess authorization to carry arms depending on how they are registered.
By who? Registered by who?
Registered by, what's the name of this? Nigerian Civil Defense Corps. They are in charge of registering security apparatus like that.
Apparently, under the office of the NSA, National Security Advisor,
Yes.
the man that is also arming people to protect, arming Mieti Allah to help protect communities.
Mr. Darlington Agomo, a lawyer, and let me come back to you. Now, what are your thoughts? Because we have a lot of ungoverned spaces, and that has been a major problem when it comes to providing security. And I was going to ask you, Jamal, on the issue of communication and the rest technology. But, Barrister, what are your thoughts on fencing our villages? You think that will provide some sort of prevention of invasion?
They said necessity is the mother of invention. When the Eneken Tioba had learned to fly without perching, the hunter must learn to shoot without aiming. You have to be creative here, because the guys that are coming to attack you, they don't take prisoners. And so, the earlier the state government liaises with local community to raise well-armed vigilantes, because in every community there must be a central square where people are supposed to gather and all that. And so the young men in that locality can be trained and then be given some arms. Because if the man that is coming to attack you know that you too you are armed, they will think twice before coming. Why the carnage is so much is because there was no defense. They just come into the community, do whatever they like.
No, for that to be
single resistance.
For us to achieve that, there will have to be a law. There has to be a law in place that provides for people arming themselves.
Yes, if you can do all these forest guard, that the NSA trained and all that, deploy them to the villages. Let their core mandate be especially vulnerable villages where these things are so rampant, like in Benue and Jos. Everybody know where this thing is so pronounced. Go there. If they know that that place is cordoned off, they will think twice before coming. They will think twice. And so these are the things I think the government is supposed to do. And not every time Benue. How many times have they attacked Benue, for God's sake? That particular axis. That means you should pay attention to that place. By the time you ward them off from there, they will stop.
Barrister, this sounds more like, people, communities resourcing to self-help. Wouldn't that eventually lead to anarchy, which is what you are trying to avoid?
We're already there.
No, the thing is that there must be. I said there must be. Those people, you will know them. They will be licensed. Are you getting what I'm saying? And they cannot operate, and it's always maybe when there is a call for it. There must be sort of organized vigilante groups in these communities. Where even if it's a retired military men in that community, you put them to use. Instead of deploying them to wild the forest and all that. The real problem is in this local community where where people are being attacked and maimed.
All right.
So if you want to do that, it's possible. It's just that government is not paying attention. All right. That is my worry here.
All right, we'll pick up on this conversation right after this break. Barrister Darlington, thank you very much for coming on the program. We'll have to let you go now. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation.
happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Boma Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. We still have Ijoma Chukwu with us. She's a specialist in security technology and a security consultant and cybersecurity expert. And she's talking about fencing villages. Some would argue how that can be achieved. Well, we have joining us right here in the studio, we have Somi Uranta. He joins the conversation. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you.
And from Benin, we also been joined by Comrade Eshie-Fotsa. Good to have you join the conversation.
Bless you.
You might need to unmute your device so we can take your audio feed.
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Now, you have been following the conversation, and the killings have continued. The attacks of communities. Some have said, in fact, let me just put this clearly. Right when America invaded, came into Nigeria, December 25. Prior to that invasion, attacking bandits' camp in Sokoto and the rest. Prior to that, there were talks that if America comes to Nigeria, the kidnappings will increase. In fact, we had Sheikh Gumi on this program where he emphasized that if America comes to Nigeria, the kidnappings will increase. There will be an attack on Christians. Muslims, according to him, he said Muslims will take up weapons against Christians. All right? And we have seen that play out. We've seen churches being attacked, 3 at a go in some instances. And does it seem like is government overwhelmed when it comes to warding off these bandits and curbing the issue of insecurity? Because now it feels like every Monday you wake up to another story of an attack somewhere. Some churches, some houses being burnt, churches being attacked, people being taken away in hundreds, and the rest of them. Is government overwhelmed? Should we go back and beg for another form of assistance? What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. My take on this very topic, especially coming from the angle you narrow it to, is that here in Nigeria, we looked as if we are taking major things to be minor and minor to be major. How do I mean? You see, American coming was based on their level of intelligent gathering about the terror activities that are going on in Nigeria. But you see, at a time when the issue of the likes of Gumi came in, we tried to, religionalize the whole issue, where you see people complaining that, oh, America were coming because it is a genocide against the Christians, and the Muslims were raising their voices and all of that. That is why I said in Nigeria, we seem to be taking major thing to be minor and minor to be major. All things being equal, all hands ought to be on the deck in assisting at all levels in combating terrorism.
All right.
Terrorism is everywhere in the world.
All right.
Even the
All
great
hands must be
America
on
is
deck.
talking about.
All hands must be on deck, and that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
This is our hands on deck, so we can provide a solution to the problem.
Yes.
Let me come back to you.
Look at it,
Let me come back to you, Ijoma. I'll come
today,
back to you. I'll come back to you in a bit. Let's bring this back to Ijoma, who is with us in the studio. Now, talking about, you said something about an alarm system in villages. Machine, is it machine, or you need town? An air raid
system, yes.
Okay, so the system, if I understand what that means, it's an alarm that goes off when people start to get closer.
Yes, when there's an attack, there is an attack.
Can we do that without power?
Okay. Now we
internet.
We have solar systems that work. We have
You're not being realistic.
We have satellite.
You're not being realistic.
No, I'm
Let's
being
look at the problems we have in Nigeria.
Okay.
We have places where there is no power, there is no electricity. We have places where there's no internet access.
Where you think there is no power, there is sunlight. Where you think there's no internet access, there is a satellite overlooking that area. So
satellite operated by who?
There is a satellite.
Now,
no, we even have these companies existing in Nigeria that use satellite-based internet. Now, what I'm talking about is
Does Nigeria have a satellite out there?
We launched one now. Have you forgotten?
NigeComSat that collapsed. It collapsed.
At least we launched one. It's in record. So we can't say we don't have. It collapsed and is hanging somewhere outside there, working in 20%. But let's see. Now, these things are not things that the locals can afford. But through partnership, intelligent collaborations outside there with major tech companies, these solutions can be provided. Systems that can monitor access or surveillance of movement within certain regions. They look at when people are gathered and they are able to notify that something is going on, blare noise, or someone is set aside to notify. Even the police can get intelligence and notify the community.
Ijoma, I'm happy that you brought us to this point.
Yes.
So when the air raid blazes, so what happens next?
Now, when the air raid blazes, there is a notification, first of all. I love notification. Notification tells you what to do. So you're not acting in ignorance. So you know if to take run for cover. You know that you have some seconds or some minutes to run for cover. You can run with your children or even the police. Now, if you know a good air raid system, you will hear it towns and towns away. It's not just something within a particular local sector. So the police within that region cannot say they did not know. The vigilantes cannot say they are not aware.
That is the problem. Policemen are giving upfront information. See, we have information that there will be there's an impending attack. Even soldiers, they have all that information. Nigerian military, they have that information. And they don't come until more like 95% of the harm is already done. And they come and start arresting
one thing I
the
do
victims
is
again.
I try not to build systems that are dependent on third party that don't feel what I feel. So when an air raid system goes out, the community themselves that are the ones feeling this problem, that their husbands are their protectors and their sons are their watchers, can take decisions. Now, they must not completely be armed with your gun. They can be armed with their machetes. They can be armed with something else. And remember, we can make local guns. We've always had known that.
Okay, Ijoma, you just said something.
We can build
systems.
make
this nest.
Yeah.
And you don't depend on third parties. So are you saying, practically speaking, are you saying that we have such existing now?
In urban centers, we do. In urban communities, we deployed a solution called Community Shield, where we have access control and we have emergency and call for help.
Urban center.
Yes, in urban centers.
Okay. Do you think that model will work in a typical rural?
It can be tweaked to work in a typical rural community, and it works in other rural community outside Nigeria.
Well, you know, Nigeria's situation is very peculiar.
Nigerian situation is not that peculiar. Okay. It happens in other places that we can learn how they have been able to
Maybe we should have a test
survive.
run and then we know if this will.
That's it. We should learn to test things. We should be open to not wait on the government to solve everything. Number one, that leadership is not working. How do we bring it down? Our work when we talk as business people is how do we solve problems,
Yes,
not how can we
and that's exactly what we're talking about
problem.
here, is trying to solve the problem, Somi Oranta, the Port Harcourt boy. Now, this is a system where we know that information reaches the police, information gets to the military. We have a situation where the community tells them that, look, there's a report that there will be an attack. And they tell the community, don't worry, nothing will happen. Nobody will attack you. But then the attack happens. We've seen cases where there's an information that there will be an attack. And then a military base close to a school, close to a church is vacated. And then the attack happens. Is our problem lack of air raid system or information or lack of passage of information or something, or our problem lack of government effort to curb insecurity? Where can you situate the problems we have currently in the area of security and insecurity in Nigeria?
You know, in times like this, we have to just say the truth as it is. Because if we try to keep on whitewashing a very ugly sepulchre, we'll end up at nowhere. If you recall, I always talk about sincerity of purpose. You know, the political will to so do. We don't have it. Look, OBJ, president, several times president of Nigeria, General Tiwa Danjuma, one time defense minister, yeah, and a lot of other Nigerians, top Nigerians who have eyes and nose and ears to the security system of the nation have stated. OBJ said there is a Fulanization program ongoing under Buhari. General Tiwa Danjuma said, go and defend yourself. Well, it didn't tell us how we're going to defend ourselves. Somebody that is coming with AK-47 and you want to defend yourself. How?
With machete.
With machete. Probably. Because when Buhari came in, he disarmed people who had legitimate firearms. So there is no sincerity of purpose. There is no political will. In fact, there is an established collusion between the authorities and these people. And the worst of it is that we are told that these people are not Nigerians. So you begin to wonder, how do we live in a society where the people who swore to protect the integrity, the sovereignty of the nation, those who are given the mandate to operate and dispense with our general will, all of us contributed our individual wills and gave to them a fiduciary relationship. When they begin to collude or begin to act nonchalant, uncaring about the number one rule of governance, that you must protect the lives and properties of citizens. So you begin to wonder, there's nothing we can do about it too. My colleague here is saying what she's saying in an ideal situation. But I recall you talked about the uniqueness, the peculiarity of the Nigerian situation. And to begin to face these issues squarely, there's nowhere, we're not getting anywhere. Because how can you say you want to, if the alarm starts ringing, and you don't even need the alarm, because like Okoro has stated, there are intels about these people coming, say they are coming. And then the soldiers who are ensconced in one area.
So you don't think the alarm will even scare the attackers? When they
it will aggravate, they will feel angered that you even, and they will come with more ferocity.
So, sorry, before we continue in that alarm, you said something, and I'd like for us to interrogate it more. You said we need to face these things squarely. What are the tracks that we can use in facing these things squarely?
By calling out the government to remove the hands of, the monkey from the pot of soup, lest it become the
Ijoma here believes that, look, there's already a leadership failure, that the government is not done well, so that we can't keep relying on the government. And you're asking us to go back to the same government. So it's like we are trapped.
They swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of Nigeria, to protect us. They are, by so doing, they took charge of the power, the ultimate power of coercion. So you cannot do those things without them.
But Mr. Oranta, this is the same country where that has intelligence, has information about the people behind some of the killings, and they refuse to name and shame them till now.
So we have to keep calling on the government to do the needful, or they should leave the place, because it's not something you and I can do.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go to Oka, where we have Engineer Fimba Ajegu. Engineer Fimba, thank you very much for staying back. I understand that you've been in quite a while. Now, the issue of insecurity, we're looking at a solution, a possible solution to it. We've seen an American try to provide a solution to the houses that were burnt. He, has gone ahead to build houses, I think about 30 something houses. 35 houses, something that Nigerian government hasn't done. He's gone ahead to do it. But talking about securing the people now, preventing future attacks, do you think, if government fails, which it seems like government is not doing so much, if government fails, should the people take to defending themselves? How far will that go? How far will the people go in defending themselves? When in Nigeria currently, we don't have a constitution that allows people to bear arms.
Thank you very much for having me, and distinguished guests in the studio. I greet you all. Sincerely, we've all spoken very well, and we've spoken about the security challenges over time. It seems that nothing is being done. The purpose of the media is to continue to expose all these things. Sometimes when they even threaten people are in the media is being challenged. However it is, we must keep talking. My own recommendation with the especially with the case at hand, having this American young man coming to also join hundreds and thousands of Nigerians who are very much disappointed at the security apparatus in Nigeria. I want to recommend sincerely that you see, people are not being fired. The Commissioner of Police in the state should have been fired long time ago. The Inspector General of Police should have been fired. In fact, we all know that the Inspector General of Police has been long overdue, and yet the presidency has kept him. We have to find other means of getting Inspector General of Police out of that seat. He has been retired and he has been renewed his services and all that, which is very much which is the corruption in itself, which is also part of the insecurity which we are going through. Because sincerely, if there are cases of people who are being murdered, who are being attacked, and the Inspector General of Police cannot deploy his Commissioner of Police to arrest the situation, nip it in the bud within 24 hours. I'm telling you sincerely, he should just throw in the towel and resign. As a matter of fact, we also recommend that community policing is very essential. Yes, it is. Because sincerely, at community level, we all know how to address security, but we're not equipped. We don't have the apparatus. And like you said, our constitution does not directly empower us to carry arms. In many cases where we are given an opportunity to carry arms, I'm telling you sincerely, these entire security problems will be stopped immediately within the fewest minutes. Because once the law is passed that people should carry arms, I'm telling you, whoever comes within the shores of anyone's territories or communities that is not permitted, the community will take the person firearms to firearms. And T.Y. Danjuma, like you earlier mentioned, to recall, T.Y. Danjuma said it. He didn't hide. He didn't miss words. We should defend ourselves. And I think it's high time also those who are really being attacked, like Benue State, who have experienced continuous attacks, they all should not sit idle. The life that they have is only once. If the youths that are there are being lazy, it is unfortunate. They are youths, and the youths are the energetic people in the communities that they should take arms and defend their communities.
Comrade Fimba.
Yes.
Comrade Fimba. You just said something now that is quite instructive and needs further interrogation. Now you said, well, if we were allowed to carry arms, this nonsense would have stopped. Now we are not allowed to carry arms. But we see people carry arms. Now, and when we get a situation where other people, I mean, the victims start carrying arms, are we not going to descend to anarchy and all of that? So are you now saying that, well, people should resort to self-help if the government has failed us?
Yes, self-help, we have limitations. Self-help has limitations. We may not have the arms directly like you have the AK-47 and what have you, but we have those ones which we can have available to us. We have Dane guns, we have hunting guns, we have the cutlasses and machetes like one of us mentioned from the studio there. Sincerely, those are the fundamental weapons which we can have at our own protection. I'll give you a case. Quite recently, we had a case in Anambra State here, in one of the communities where a security man was attacked. And the people that came with the attack with the AK-47s, and all at this very moment, the case has not been, the criminals have not been nipped in the bud. Who are those who attacked, came to attack a security man who was not even armed. Can you imagine that? So security men at various levels should be armed. And if security men are also armed, the vigilantes should be armed, and arms should be that pump action which is being accepted. They should be properly armed. And then when these criminals who come with their guns in those communities, Yelwata and the likes, then they should also have their pump actions to defend themselves, because firearms, the level of pump action is approved for vigilantes to carry.
All right then. Thank you very much, Comrade Mr. Engineer Fimba Ajogu. You know, when Ijoma talked about, machetes and all of that, what came to my mind is the untouchables. You know, when Sean Connery was killed, the guy that shot him said, you don't go to a gunfight with a knife. I mean, you have seen people carried AK-47s and you're coming out with machetes. Anyway, these are prescriptions and we'll just have to maybe choose one or two of them to see how it works for us. Now, let's go back to Benin City where we have Comrade Chef Fota Michel still on the program with us. Comrade Shepota, I would like to ask you, this issue of having to arm Nigerians, where do you situate it? Do you think that the government asking Nigerians or allowing Nigerians to bear firearms is going to solve this problem? What do you see? What do you know?
It's a better alternative to handling the insecurity situation we find ourselves. In some cases, is different. For instance, I am from a community here in Edo State where, like what my brother, the factor that I just provided just now, that youth has to wake up to their responsibility. Like in my community, for instance, we don't take a no for an answer. I can tell you for free that my community is one of the most secured community in Edo State. I am from Isako West, precisely from my Uguri community. When you get there, we have the vigilante that has already been accepted by Edo State government to carry out the business of security our community. What do? We bought, at the local level, we arranged with them, we co-opted our authors among them, who go into the bushes, comb them. There's a scenario that took place the other time, if you must, maybe you have heard of that situation where a small girl of 11 years was kidnapped in my community. And the story has it that a younger generation boy took it upon himself. I said, no, I cannot allow my younger sister to go in the hand of these kidnappers just for free like that. They all negotiated. We all heard the stories. And the guy heard when they were about handing the money over to the kidnappers. That is when the young man heard the kidnapper. And they all arranged that in less than 5 minutes, those who were going to assist him to arrest or to clap down on the kidnapper should come. But do you know that it took almost about 10 minutes, that it was just God and his bravery that saved the situation. The kidnappers, one or two of them were arrested, they were prosecuted, they were handed over to the Nigeria police. My solution, my suggestion is that let the communities wake up, especially the youth, the traditional rulers. They have a role to play. They have to sensitize the people. Also in Edo State, we have a way of enlightening our youth, our young. Yeah.
Ideally, I mean, what you just shared is that of bravery and a lot of cooperation. Do you think this can actually play out in the north? I mean, considering the fact that we know that a lot of these community dwellers are very sympathetic to these so-called bandits. Do you think that can play out, this level of cooperation and everybody speaking in one voice and standing up to these bandits or kidnappers? Do you think this can actually play out in the north, up north?
It may not work 100%, but they should be able, the youths in Benue, in all these northern states where terrorism is rampant, they should come up with resilient ideas, youthful ideas. These people.
That's why we're talking to you. We are hoping that you will give us some youthful ideas. We are hoping that you give us some ideas that people can take away, and implement. But also in Edo State, Uromi, you remember what happened in Uromi? The farmers that were killed and how the vigilante that handled that, how they were treated. Do you think that will encourage people to want to confront attackers or perceived attackers, as it were?
My own take in such a situation is that we should be sure of an action before we probably move. The issue that took place in Uromi was a peculiar situation where some information had it that, these people were not armed bandits and all of that. But what we witness in Uromi is that youth, be proactive. That is the message I want to drive to the youth in the north, especially the Benue and the Jos area. Let the youth wake up. Let them know that they are the future. They are the leaders of tomorrow in those areas. You don't expect the old men, the old women to come and fight for themselves. The youth should wake up. They should design some certain ways in confronting these people.
All right.
Intelligent government.
Wake up,
let them also
wake up. Let the youth
learn
wake up.
to release
Well, thank you
information.
very much. Thank you very much, comrade. Thanks for your thoughts there. Can I take that as your concluding thoughts?
But to me, I want to continue to lay emphasis on the youth or on those areas to be more proactive. They need to release the informations. They need to, in my area, we used to have age group meetings where information are being disseminated. They should design such ways to disseminate information so that even if it is at the dead night that these people are coming to attack this community, some youth should be awake.
All right. Thank you very much. It feels like government has absolutely no responsibility here. I mean, if people are putting gates in their communities, hiring security to guard their estates, providing water, providing alternative power sources, then we don't need the government anymore. If you're asking us to start defending ourselves. Well, before I come to you, Somi Ranta, let me go to Engineer Femba Jegu. Engineer Femba, please give us in 1 minute your concluding thoughts on this one. Solutions this time around.
If be held accountable, that's my solution. If the commissioner of police in a state is not held accountable, if the commanding officer of the Nigerian army in whichever region is not held accountable, I'm not sure that these security things will conclude. That's my own.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Now, Ijoma, you are the experts. What's other solution aside from siren and alarm and area sound? And realistic solutions now. Considering the problems we have on governed spaces, willingness of government to do or not to do, what are the solutions that these people are farmers. A lot of them don't even have money. A lot of taxes are collected from some of them. And now they need to sell their produce to pay levies in a lot of these areas. What are the realistic solutions that they can use, that people can use?
Okay. As an expert, I have 3 realistic solutions for communities. We've deployed it and we've seen this work outside the country. 1, access control. Reduce or control access of people coming into your communities. 2, alarm notification. Emergencies should be notified to even the least person in the community, not just to the community leaders, to everybody, the woman, the child. They should know when there's an impending doom. 3, verify the people around you. You're hiring a driver, do a background verification. Ensure that person is a Nigerian. You know the uncle, you know the auntie. When we can keep these three things, you'll be able to limit your exposure to threats of insecurity.
All right, thank you very much, Ijeoma Chukwu. Sobi Ranta, you have the microphone. Your concluding thoughts.
Well, in conclusion, I would say that we do not have what it takes to effectively secure ourselves. That is why some men and women were given the mandate to so do. They should do their job.
And in a situation whereby they are not doing their job?
Nigerians will continue to call them out and insist that they do their job. Because if you bear arms, you'll be termed an armed robber. The police can frame you the way they like, the way they deem fit. So let's keep on calling on the government to do their job. It is the government that would decide to devolve the policing system to the local government system, level, and then the state level before you get to the federal. It's the government that will do all these things.
All right.
The people have a limit to what they can do. If you are in government, if you cannot take care of this, then you have no business being in power.
All right, thank you very much. And that takes us to our very next conversation, where the issue of arms in the hands of private individuals has come up. The Department of State Services has arraigned former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and his son, Abdulaziz Malami, on 5-count charges of terrorism financing and aiding and abetting terrorism, and also possession of illegal arms. Well, we'll talk about this when we come back from this break. Join us again.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Mr. Ofamiloni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
My name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice. the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count. Pets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Well, the Department of State Services has arraigned former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and his son, Abdulaziz Malami, on 5-count charges of terrorism financing and aiding and abetting terrorism and illegal possession of firearms. Malami and his son appeared before Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court, Abuja. The former AGF was charged under count 1 with knowingly abetting terrorism financing by refusing to prosecute terrorism financiers whose case files were brought to his office as the Attorney General of the Federation for prosecution. Now, both Malami and his son were jointly charged under counts 2 to 5 for unlawful possession of firearms. They pleaded not guilty to all the charges. And we're also being told that cache of arms were discovered at their residence, a few of those. Well, we still have with us Engineer Finba Ajegu, who is the chairman, Safety Engineers, Anambra State, member, Anambra State Anti-Corruption Strategy Committee, and from Benin, we have Comrade Eshiofutsa Mitchell. Well, thank you very much. And also in the studio, we have Somi Uranta with us. Let me start off with Mr. Uranta here. Now, what do you make of this development to the prosecution of Abubakar Malami, where his son? Some would say, I mean, this is basically saying that cases were brought before him involving terrorism financiers, and this basically saying that he willfully decided not to prosecute.
I think he should have his day in court to explain to Nigerians why that did not happen. Because those who, the terrorists themselves, the enablers, those who act or either by omission or commission, aided this terrorism that is ravaging this nation, must be called to account for their stewardship. But beyond that, I hate to hear these excuses. To me, it's a lame duck excuse that because Malami refused to make that list available. In fact, I was listening to a program today, somebody said, look, that if he's compelled to Google, to go to ChatGPT, he will get the list. He can be able to give you the list. Government should be proactive. No single individual should
was the Attorney General of
yes, he's supposed to hand over to the new Attorney General. After they are of the same party, I don't know of the same party, even if they are of different parties, he should hand over to the Attorney General, the one that is taking over from him. But beyond that, this government cannot say that is a reason why they have not acted the way they ought to act promptly and swiftly, just like they did when there was a coup attempt in Benin Republic. They cannot tell me that have they done other things that they needed to do? Have they called off that obnoxious system where they call it de-radicalization of arrested terrorists? And then have they weed off all those people that were integrated into the Nigerian military who were giving out intel to their colleagues in the bush. Have they done all that? Have they tried to remove the people who are known terror sponsors that are in the government? Have they done all that? We are still talking about the NSA was said to have armed some group of Fulani headers in Kwara State. They say the truck they use, the arms were given to them by the office of the NSA. Several reports have come up.
To help fight bandits in Kwara.
That is what they call it. I bet people are saying that they were going beyond, their mandates, that mandate. Now, different people have, high-ranking people have accused the Minister of State for Defense, Mr. Matawale, that he's a sympathizer of terrorism. He's still in government. And all these people, government should act. And then, is it difficult to go back to the source where the document came from? Because they are politicking, trying to be politically correct.
So Mr. Rancher, in all of this, you don't think that the government has been sincere in fighting the issue of terrorism?
They have not been sincere. Why? Okay, if they've been sincere, how come they would deny the existence of a terror attack that took away the lives of, 170-something Nigerians into the bush? How did it happen? How come nobody saw them? There are a lot of things that you say. They should try Mr. Malami, no doubt. But that does not excuse them for the laxity, for the ineffectiveness of their approach towards, in fact, their seriousness towards this insecurity in Nigeria.
We keep talking about this thing all the time, and sometimes I wonder, how can this particular case, be handled in a way that, maybe the public can have some form of trust in them again?
See, this Malami issue, let me be sincere with you, it just looks like a witch hunt. If Malami, they want to pursue this matter to its logical conclusion, what this thing will lead to, they will not, it's just to harass the man, and they will not pursue this matter to its logical conclusion. I can bet you on that.
All right, then. Engineer Fimba, this is where we are again, pardon? All right, I've been told that we've lost connection with Engineer Fimba. So do we have a comrade Mitchell from Benin with us?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
All right, great. Comrade, let me ask you this question. So we're talking about, now we've got into a situation where an individual who has been in office and left office has been accused of a few things, and we call it political witch hunt. Is that even going to help us achieve anything? I mean, if Godwin Emefiele is being dragged for monies that he allegedly embezzled, and we're saying it is political witch hunt, and now former Attorney General as well, are we going to ever achieve anything in the area of curbing terrorism financiers? Don't forget, also, Godwin Emefiele was accused of being a terrorist financier, and also a weapon was said to have been discovered in his home in Lagos. Is this the government basically just cooking up things to keep these individuals incarcerated? Or is there a bigger problem, a bigger issue that is not being discussed? And what can we do to effectively address the issue of terrorist financiers whose names were listed at some point and curb the issue of terrorism in Nigeria? It's a wholesome question. Let's have your reaction.
It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation in Nigeria, where a chief law officer, as far as the federal government is concerned, is into this whole mess. My own take in it is that if Mr. Malami has been found wanting in one way or the other connected to terrorism financing, the law should take its course. It should be investigated. Nobody should trivialize it. It is not an ethnic issue. it is about the Nigeria state. We are talking about financing terrorism that could have led to the death of numerous Nigerians, uncountable Nigerians.
It's still an allegation, though. It's not. It's still an allegation.
My own point is that if he has been found wanting, the law should take its course. It should be made to face the full wrath of the law. Let him account for it. Let him give his own, knowledge about all of these allegations against him. And any other person whatsoever, even if it is found in this mess, the law should take its course. That is my own take in the whole thing.
All right, then. Thank you very much. This will be a good place to anchor the conversation. I must say a very big thank you to you, Comrade Eshia Fotsa Mitchell. Thank you for coming, public affairs commentator, and also Somi Oranta, an author and a public affairs commentator. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being with us on the program. Unfortunately, we lost connection to engineer Fimba Ajegu, but that's it on the show. Newspaper comes up shortly. Newspaper review comes up shortly. I am Moses Humphrey. On behalf of my colleagues, Chukuma Okoro and Jane Ogoye. We'll see you again at 10. Bye for now.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are